Hello and also welcome. In this video we are constructing and deploying a fully automated trading bot using Python and the Binance API. In specific, we are live streaming all available coin prices on Binance, write them into a database and buy the top performers over the last n minutes. I recommend some prerequisites for this video, which I will link in the video description. So how the strategy will be built is, first we are setting up a script which is live streaming all available coin prices to a SQLite database. The second script then is evaluating the performance over the last n minutes and buys the top performing coin and also sells the coin when a target profit or a stop loss is reached. Important disclaimer: cryptocurrency and in specific automated trading is bearing a huge amount of risk and may result in a total loss of your invested capital. Cryptocurrencies are not regulated and the Python Binance API wrapper is not official. Even more important disclaimer: don't blindly follow my instructions. I'm providing you ideas and show you example trades. You need to do your own research, assess and manage the risk based on your own risk profile and make proper adjustments. Do not execute code you don't understand 100%. Losses are part of trading. Be aware of the risk you want to take. Do not see these videos as end-to-end products. It is just sharing ideas how I would construct a bot. See it as a project. Alright, so let's get started with the first script where we are streaming all coins from Binance to a SQLite database. So we need some libraries to achieve that. We need Pandas for data handling. We need the client to get information from Binance. We need async.io, async client, and the Binance Socket Manager to be able to stream live prices from Binance. And these two lines you don't need if you're using raw Python or an IDE or whatsoever. This is only necessary if you're using Jupyter Notebook. We also need to import Create Engine from SQL Alchemy to create a SQLite database. And this is what we are doing in the first step. So we are defining engine here by using Create Engine and define SQLite and give our database a name. I'm just calling that cryptodb.db. And with that, we can use data to write that into this database. Now I'm instantiating the client to get information from Binance. So I'm not using my API key and my API secret here because I only need information from Binance. I do not want to execute trades or something like that. So I don't have to authorize my account here. Now I'm pulling all available information from Binance by using get exchange info. And with that, I'm getting a huge dictionary containing a lot of information on all symbols. But I only want to use this dictionary to filter out all symbols which are tradable on Binance here, right? So I'm using a list comprehension to achieve that. So symbols is X symbol for X in info symbols. And with that, I'm getting all tradable symbols from Binance. I need to exclude some stuff here to account for that I don't want to trade leverage tokens. So I'm creating a list of values which I want to exclude here. This is up, down, bear, and bull. And I just want to exclude all symbols which are containing a word like up, down, bear, and bull. And with that, I'm excluding the leverage tokens. So I'm creating a new list here, non-leveraged. Use symbol for symbol in symbols if all excludes not in symbol for excludes in exclude. And with that, I have my non-leveraged tokens, so I don't have any up, down, bear or bull values within this list anymore. Now I want to get the relevant token, and with relevant I mean just the tokens which are in relation to the US dollar, or in Binance terms, the US dollar Tether, which is a stable coin representing the US dollar value. So I'm using symbol for symbol in non-lev if this symbol ends with US dollar Tether. And with that, I'm getting all relevant tradable coins in relation to the US dollar Tether. All right. And now I have to do some more steps to this list, or something more to this list, and that is getting rid of those capitalized letters. So apply a lower function on them and add trade to those values. We need that to get a trade stream for multiple values, which we will provide in a list form to the Binance Socket Manager. So what do we have to do? We're creating a new list, multi, and then we are just using the lower method, which is just working like this. I'm quickly showing that to you. So if I have BTC USDT and apply a lower function on that, I'm getting it like this, right? And I have to add trade here. So I will link where you find that in the API documentation. So I'm using plus add trade for I in relevant. And with that, I'm getting a list containing values like so, and I can provide them to the Binance Socket Manager to get streams for all those symbols here, right? Before we are doing that, I want to define another function here, which I've covered in other videos, but this time this function is slightly different. So I'm quickly copy pasting that from my other screen, and I'm explaining you what's different. So the multiple streams are coming in another form than a single stream. So they contain a dictionary, which has a key as this single stream, and then is containing the data which we know of. So as you see here, I'm using another filter or dictionary filter, which is containing data here. So this is slightly different, but the rest is the same. And all in all, this function is just translating the values we're getting from Binance to a data frame. All right. And now we are just getting to the part where we're using the Binance Socket Manager to stream those prices to our SQLite database. So we are just using async main, define the client here. So this is just the syntax which you will find in the Python Binance wrapper documentation, which I've used in some previous videos before. So I'm defining the Binance Socket Manager here, and now this is different. I'm using a multiple socket here. Use the Binance Socket Manager, use the multiplex socket, and provide our multi-list, which is containing all the stream names here, right? And now I'm using the same as before, async with ms as tscm, while true, using await tscm receive, and then if we have a message here, we are creating a frame by using the createframe function from above here to this message to translate this message and wrap it into a data frame. And now we are just using frame to SQL, and we want to give the table the name of the symbol. So we're using frame symbol and then just index for the value. So in the Bitcoin case, we just would get a table of BTC USDT. Provide the engine. If this table exists, we want to just append, and we're setting the index to false here. So, okay, we'll have to add client close connection here. And then we are ready to run this. So if name is main, we are defining the loop, async IO, get event loop, and then we're running this until complete for our main function defined above. All right, and this will run infinitely, and we are getting database. So I'm going to show you. Now we are getting an error here. Message is not defined. Yeah, not message here, but we have to define res here. This was my mistake, sorry for that. Okay, so to summarize what we did until now, we are streaming live prices for all available coins on Binance to a SQLite database. Now, you can use the database browser to explore this data, but you can also use the read SQL function from Pandas, which I will quickly show you how you can do that, to just show you that the live stream is working. So we actually need some stuff from here. So we need to create the engine. And we need pandas as well. So now let's access the data from the database. So let's just pull prices for the Bitcoin here, like so. And with that, you're getting a data frame like this, all right? So if you are executing this again, you're getting more rows here, as within the time I'm showing you this data frame, there will be most probably new prices for the Bitcoin. So let's execute it again. And now you see we have 1468 rows instead of 1444. All right. And we're using this when constructing the second script. But let's take another example here. So let's take Ethereum. Let's take Doge and so on, right? So you're getting all the prices which are streamed from the time on when we started this script, which was like 7 or 8 minutes ago here. Okay, so sheep, some altcoins here, algo. All right. Okay, let's continue with the second script. All right, so let's move on to the second script. This is the actual trading script. Important to note here is I'm constructing the script in a way that I can execute it in raw Python. The reason behind that is I want to create a cron job later on, which is executing this script every minute. As you see, I already did some stuff here, so I'm importing my API key and my API secret here. You don't have to do that. You just need to define them in your current Python environment. I'm doing that for data protection reasons. We need async.io, the async client, and the Binance Socket Manager to get live prices for the bought asset. So an alternative approach is to use the database as well, but I don't want to lose any millisecond here, and I'm using the stream approach to get the live prices for the bought asset. We need pandas for accessing the data from the database and also data manipulations. We need datetime to filter the data from the database for the last n minutes. And we also need the client to create orders and get information from Binance. Here I'm connecting to our live stream database, and I'm setting up the client, providing my API key and my API secret to be able to create orders. So first thing is we are pulling the symbols, but we are not using the approach from the first script, but we are just reading out our database for all available tables. Reason behind that is it could be that there are no available prices for particular symbols, and I just want to make sure that we are only getting the symbols which are in the database. So I'm using pd read SQL here. Now I'm using a SQLite specific syntax here. I'm just using select name from SQLite master where type is table. And with that, I'm just getting all tables from SQLite. Okay, provide the engine here. And this will create a data frame. I'm quickly showing you how this is looking like this. So I'm just storing all those values to a list. So this column has the name. So .name, and then I can use toList. Okay, and with that I'm getting a list like that containing all symbols in our live price database. Okay. Now next I want to get the data for the last n minutes from our database. And you have to do an amendment which can be quite individual. You have to find out the time lag between your current time zone and the Binance server time zone. So in my case, it's 1 hour. So I'm quickly showing you what I'm talking about. If I'm pulling data for the Bitcoin here, I'm getting 11:29 here, right? But if we are taking a look at my time zone, it's 12:30, right? So to get the Binance time, so I can show you if I'm pulling DT datetime now, and you will see 12:30. So to get the Binance time, I have to subtract 1 hour from my time zone, right? This is important. This can be individual. You have to just check that what's your time difference to the Binance server. Anyhow, I'm creating a function here which I'm just calling query, which is taking a particular symbol, and you provide a look back period in form of an integer. So this is optional. It's just showing that this argument of the function has to be provided as an integer. And now we are defining what time is exactly now, but we are subtracting the time difference to the Binance server. So we are using DT datetime now minus, and then we are subtracting the time delta of 1 hour. This is again individual. This can be different for your situation, depending on where you're currently sitting. And now I want to have the time when I'm going n minutes back. So I'm taking now minus the time delta, and here I'm taking the look back, which is just an integer provided when calling this function. Okay. And now I'm using this before variable to create a query string, which is querying our database. So I'm using an f string here, use select all from, and now I'm providing the symbol to get the data for a provided symbol, where the time is larger or equal to before. All right. And in the end, I'm just returning read SQL of this query string as a pandas data frame. Okay, so let's call the function to understand how it's working. So if I want to have the Bitcoin price for the last 10 minutes, I'm calling that like so, and I'm getting a data frame starting from 11:49 until 11:59 here, right? So if I'm taking 5 minutes, starting at 11:54 until 11:59 here, and so on. Okay, and now we are using this function to make the return calculation. So we are just calculating the cumulative return over this particular column for every symbol in our database. Therefore, I'm using a loop here, and I'm populating an empty list, which I'm calling red for returns. And I'm using a loop to populate this list for symbol and symbols. So I'm looping over all our symbols in our database, pull the prices by using the query function, provide the symbol, and I'm just taking the last 3 minutes here, take the price column, and now I'm calculating my cumulative returns. I have covered that in another video on my channel, which I will link in the video description. So I'm just taking the percentage change function on the prices, then add a 1 and take a product out of that, and afterwards subtract the 1. And then I'm appending those cumulative returns to my reds list here. And with that, I'm getting a list like that, containing all cumulative returns for all symbols over the last 3 minutes. Okay, so to find the maximum return value, I could apply a maximum function, and the maximum return over all symbols over the last 3 minutes is a remarkable 1.5%. That's quite insane for only 3 minutes here. And to find out which symbol is behind this maximum return, I can use the index function and get the the index for the symbol. So to find the actual symbol behind this, I can just index for this again and get this asset KP3R USDT. So I'm storing that in our top coin here, and with that we get our top coin. All right. Okay, now we are defining the amount of money we want to invest in this top coin, and I'm just taking $300 here. And the next step is pretty tricky. I want to know how much of the coin I can buy with this $300 US. The problem with that is I cannot just divide the amount by the price and have the quantity which I can buy later on. I have to do some more steps here, and that is due to the fact that all coins have different minimum quantities or minimum lot sizes. And this is what we are doing in the next step. So I'm trying to be as detailed as possible here. So first of all, I'm pulling infos. So I'm getting a symbol info for my top coin, right? And with that, I'm getting a dictionary like that containing my minimum lot size here, this value. And I just want to extract that value out of this dictionary, and therefore I'm using a list comprehension. So I'm defining lot size as, and now I'm just looping I for I in info and then filters if I filter type is my lot size. Want to index for 0 here to get the dictionary, and then I'm filtering for the minimum quantity, and with that I'm getting the minimum quantity for a particular coin, and transforming that to a floating value, and with that I'm getting the lot size for this coin here. Okay, now to get the price of the coin, I'm just calling that price here. I'm using client get symbol ticker, provide my top coin, and filter for price. And again, I'm transforming that to a floating value. And with that, I'm getting the price for this coin, which is this one here. Okay, and now I can calculate my buying quantity by dividing the investment amount by the price and round it by the numbers after the decimal point, right? And with that, I avoid that I'm getting this lot size error. Okay, so again, by quantity, I'm rounding the investment amount by the price, and here you are specifying the decimal, the values behind the point for floating value, right? So I'm quickly showing you. If I want to round 3.5 something and one rounded by 2 decimals, I'm doing it like so, right? So this part I'm doing here now. And here I'm taking, let me show you first. I'm taking the length of a string converted lot size. Let me first show you what I'm doing here. So I'm converting that to a string, split this string using the dot, and with that I'm getting this and this. So if I'm taking the second one here, I can just take the length of that, and with that I'm getting the numbers of the decimal here, right? And this is the value I have to provide as the rounding number here. Okay, so you have to actually do that sometimes to see what I'm doing here. I hope I could explain that properly here. So again, investment amount divided by price, and then take the number of the decimals as the as the rounding value. So the buy quantity in our case would be 0.19. And this makes sense, right? The minimum lot size is 0.01 and we are buying 0.19. So if we would get 0.19, this would result in an error because we are violating the minimum lot size here, right? Okay, we got that. Let's get rid of some stuff here. The buying quantity. And now we can start defining our buying condition. And first of all, I'm pulling my $3 on my Binance account. You can do that by using I for I in client, get account, then take a look at my balances. If the asset is USDT, filtering, indexing for the dictionary, and then take a look at the free values. And with that, I'm getting my current $3. I'm taking a look at that. So this is important because you have to make sure that this is not the double amount of the investment amount. Otherwise, it could trigger more than one buying order here, right? And now I'm just checking if a float converted $3 is larger than the investment amount, so the $300, then I want to buy. So then I'm creating an order here, create order, provide the top coin here, define, give me a second, define the site as buy, type as market, and the quantity as our buy quantity. All right. And afterwards, we want to print the order. And else, and this is important now, we want to have a feedback. Order has not been executed. You are already invested. And if that's the case, we want to quit the script. Okay. And I'm not executing this right now. Because, as I said, I'm just using this script for a cron job later on. Okay. Right after that, we are extracting the buy price out of this order using float, then take order, fills, and then filter for the price. And after that, we are using our createframe function, but this time the old createframe function. Explained that in another video here. And then we are defining the live stream. And this is similar to all my previous videos. This is just the notation from the Python and Binance documentation. So I'm just copy pasting that, but I will explain what I'm doing here. So I'm defining an async function here, which is taking a coin as an input. Then it's calling the Binance Socket Manager, gets the trade socket here for the particular coin we are providing here. Then is receiving data, transforms this data into a data frame, and then I'm just checking if the current price is below the price I've bought the asset for times 97%, so I'm setting a 3% stop loss here, or if I made 0.5% profit, which is of course the desired outcome here. So this is just a prevention for the asset crashing here, right? And when one of those conditions is triggered, I'm executing a selling order here, right? And if that was happening, I'm stopping the loop. That is just because I don't need the live stream anymore. All right, let's zoom a bit out here. So this is my This is my function. I'm getting rid of that quickly. And to call that, we are using it like so. And with that, we have constructed our script we can execute with a cron job. Right? So I'm just executing that every minute here. So how do I do so? I'm downloading this as a raw Python file. This will put a Python file in your download folder. So it's currently titled untitled 71. And I've renamed it. I cannot show it to you due to data protection because I have private data in my download folder. So I've renamed this file in my download folder to trading script and shifted that file into my Jupyter home folder, right? And with that, so if we are taking a look at the Jupyter home folder, you see that the trading script is here, right? So this is our script, transformed to raw Python here, right? Okay. So now we are creating a cron job to execute that script. Therefore, we are opening up our terminal. So in case you're a Windows user, you can just use the task scheduler and execute the script every minute. If you're using a Mac or Linux, this is the way to go. So first of all, we need to find out where our Python interpreter is, and we are using the Anaconda interpreter. I'm just copy pasting that. And now I'm creating a cron job. So I have a whole video on that. I'm not going into details here. And execute this every minute of every day. Paste the Python interpreter part and then just execute the trading script.py. And I also want to have kind of a log what is happening. So this is optional, you don't have to do that. Then I'm exiting that, press yes, press enter, and with that I have a new cron job. So our bot is live. Now let's take a look at that together. First trade has been executed already and also sold actually. So let's take a look. I should take a look at the order history. So we have bought for 0.8947 and sold for 0.8975. So that was a good trade. So let's see what's happening. So there was the next one. It's again alpaca. There seems to be going on a lot right now. So let's just wait. What's happening? So by the way, so this is the output file. This is quite informative. So you are getting the buying confirmation here, and you are also getting the selling confirmation here. It looks quite messy because these were partial executions. And you see here, as we bought new here, so we bought alpaca again, then we're getting order has not been executed because we are already invested, right? So yeah, this is quite of a helpful log if you want to know what's actually going on in the background. Yeah, so I need to prepare some slides and stuff to explain how this bot is working and make the introduction. While I'm doing that, I let it run, and we are just taking a look at some trades. Okay, so let's take a look at some trades. Very important, I had to make amendments while this was running. This is due to the fact that I was picking a senseless stop loss limit of 3%. That's just too much, because the assumption of the strategy is that when the price is exploding, there will be kind of a very short-term momentum in the price, right? Which we could catch with the script. But if we are not catching this momentum, why would we deal with 3% loss? It doesn't make any sense. So I set it to the same as my target profit, so 0.5%. But the trades you will see here, including different stop loss limits, I think this one was 1%, but I amended it somewhere in the last minute. So, okay, let's take a look at some trades. So this one is a good trade. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. This is a stop loss hit. And you see here it is roughly 1%, right? 3% losses here. So this one was a good trade. This one was a good trade. And this one is still pending here, right? But overall, this was not profitable. But on the other hand, it is a very short time frame, right? So it would be interesting what's the performance of this over the midterm, right? But anyhow, I thank you very much for watching. I hope this was informative, interesting in the best case for you. If it was, leave it a like, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing the upcoming videos. Bye bye.